When the sun shines, we'll shine together. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. What? Tom Holland.
Okay, fine, I guess. Okay, guys, welcome to StillerBros at the Movies, and today we close out the MCU for the year and for Phase 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going far from home with Spider-Man.
So, last year, we had what may be the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
So now, Spider-Man Far From Home, which the direct sequel to Homecoming, which was a really, really, really good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So, has a lot to live up to by the fact that now it has to...
Now that after 15 years, Spider-Man 2 got dethroned as the greatest Spider-Man movie ever.
So we've got something to deal with. So we gotta deal with that. So, but the thing is, I don't think Far From Home felt the need to deal with that.
Obviously, mostly because it was filming when Into the Spider-Verse was coming out.
So obviously they did not. Obviously, when they were making the movie, they weren't thinking they weren't seeing everything that Into the Spider-Verse was doing, and were like, "Oh, we need to figure out a way to be better than that." I think they were just being like, "Let's just make a good sequel to our movie."
And they also had to make a good sequel to Endgame and Infinity War because we're finally, for the first time ever, taking place in this world that we made with Endgame and Infinity War, and especially. Spoilers for a movie that came out 2 months ago, and
that if anyone who wanted to see it really should have seen by now.
We have to live in we now get to see a world without Tony Stark, and without Iron Man, and without Captain America, and it's going to be interesting to see where we go with that.
And so, basically, this is continuing the arc that they kind of set up in Spider-Man Homecoming, where Spider-Man not only needs to figure out how to be Spider-Man, but he needs to figure out figure out what kind of person he's going to be.
Which is obviously the whole reason that they put him back in high school is so that is in high school you obviously figure out the person you're going to become to be, and we're so deep in the shit. Even though it's not that deep.
Essentially, there's a whole points in. The whole point of these movies is just that we're figuring out that Peter Parker is figuring out who he's gonna be, what kind of hero he's gonna be. Like at the end of Homecoming, his arc ended with him just deciding that he's gonna be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Not everything he does needs to save the world.
And then he immediately the next year had to go and save the world.
And now he's going to save the world again, because literally the whole meaning behind the title is that our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is going international.
Yes, he is going to Europe, and along for the ride with Tom Holland are Jacob Batalon as Ned and Zendaya as MJ.
You thought she was gonna be white, you racist.
And of course we also have Jake Gyllenhaal going full circle after, again, 15 years ago. You know, everybody was so sure that he was going to be taking over for Tobey Maguire.
After Tobey Maguire hurt his back on Seabiscuit.
Yeah. But now he's finally in a Spider-Man movie, and he's playing Mysterio.
We also have quick little cameos from the likes of Samuel L. Jackson. Marissa Tomei's back. J.B. Smoove comes in a character that was literally created specifically for him. Star returns.
Kobe Smulders is also here. And it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with this movie, because we have tried like hell to avoid any information that comes out.
Anything that hasn't been officially released by Marvel, we have been careful not to see.
Because we want to be surprised, and we want to have as much going as clean as possible.
Yeah, so, I mean, all we know is that the two big post-credits, is that the mid and post-credit scenes are huge. So we don't know what's going to go on with that, and we know that, and I mean it's fun to know this, to know all that, to know just that going into this. We've been pretty clean this summer, where most other summers we probably would not be as clean as this.
Yeah, we also know only one Marvel movie that is going to happen next year because it's in production right now, and that's Black Widow. But I don't think those are going to be the mid and post-credit scenes.
And But But that's the thing. Marvel has been amazingly tight-lipped on what's going to happen in the upcoming MCU after this.
We won't find out until maybe like 2-3 weeks from now with Comic-Con, or even we may even have to wait till D23 at the end of the month.
But until then, we've got nothing. All we know is what this movie is giving us. Michael Giacchino is returning to score it, which is awesome because he did such an amazing job with the Homecoming, including putting the 60s Spider-Man score in there. John Watts is returning as a director, because it's always nice when when Marvel pulls these indie guys in and they pretty much show that they've got some cred on making bigger budget movies like this.
And we just have this Spider-Man movie just as kind of a smaller movie, as what will probably be a smaller movie than, because we're still reeling from Endgame, guys.
Endgame destroyed the Marvel, just changed everything. It's the whole movie. This whole movie takes place about 5 years from now. So
yeah, and we now know so much, and now we're gonna have to learn so much about where the MCU is, because the MCU is now changing very rapidly from just being our world with superheroes in it.
Now that they've implemented that time jump, the whole MCU is different. It's now they can play around with whatever is possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else to say?
I got nothing.
All right then, we will see you guys after the jump.
Yep.
The hell was that?
What was the wall? God!
What? Oh!
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
But what the? Oh!
Mid and post-credit scenes, please stay through the credits for these people.
Because these are. Oh, what is this?
These are key cliffhanger moments here.
Jeez. Oh. So, all in all, now that we got that out of the way, this is probably like the third best Spider-Man movie now.
Yeah, so
right behind Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2.
So that's something good. This is it's a fantastic movie. It really builds on everything that we know so far about these characters. But yeah, there is a huge thing in the mid and post-credit scenes. I am so sorry to everyone who we shared a theater with when that mid-credit scene came up, because we were not quiet.
I literally said, "Oh, fuck!" And there were children still present.
Probably. I think there were kids in our row, but still, that was... Wow.
All right, let's get into it now. Enough about the mid and post-credit scene.
Tom Holland is still fantastic as Spider-Man. He really knows how to get into the groove of who Peter Parker and Spider-Man both are as characters.
Because they are both very defined in their personalities. Obviously, when Peter has the mask off, he's very shy and kind of nerdy and awkward. And when he has the mask on, he's very cocky and he's very jokey. Zendaya as MJ was so good because we got so much more of her this time around. And her and Peter have this great chemistry, and it's so cute. And it pissed me off because I do not have that kind of relationship in my life. And seeing that on screen really pisses me off when I see a cute couple together.
And I love and I continue to love the fact that when they decided to modernize Flash Thompson, they decided to turn him into basically if Superbad era Jonah Hill played Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And they really, really did that with this one, and I really thought it was hilarious.
Yes. JB Smoove and Martin Starr. I was struggling with JB Smoove because I really, every time I say his name, I feel like I'm saying it wrong. But JB Smoove and Martin Starr are great little comic reliefs here and there.
It's really fun to see when they like throw comedians in there. Maybe they can throw Patton Oswalt in the next one, please.
Maybe he could be Uncle Ben.
Maybe. And Marissa Tomei and Jon Favreau are really good in this, in their small little comedic roles that they're given.
We don't get a lot of Samuel L. Jackson and Kobe Smulders, but when we do, they work out really well. But the kind of big part of this is Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio.
I really like the fact that this character. I knew exactly where this character was going when I pieced a lot of stuff when I was piecing a lot of stuff together from trailers and information we were getting.
I mean, everybody who knows Mysterio from the comics knows Mysterio, and everybody always thought Mysterio in a movie was unfilmable because of who Mysterio is as a character and the kind of things he does. So it would be impossible to make him into a movie character because of just the character himself.
But without spoiling anything, Jake Gyllenhaal really does an incredible job with the character. It's really fun, and you can kind of tell that John Watts and the writers and all the visual effects artists really had fun throwing a lot of trippy imagery into the fold when they were creating all the stuff they needed to make Mysterio happen.
And he definitely has some very good chemistry with Tom Holland, when they have scenes together and they play off of each other. And now let's kind of get into the story a little bit, because the story kind of needs to be said, where the MCU is feeling very changed at this point. About the first 10 minutes of this movie is kind of getting people up to speed on what happened since the snap, or as they call it in the movie now, the blip. They obviously call it the blip because, they weren't there in Wakanda to see that it was all started by a snap. Yeah, and then we also have this. We feel Tony, despite the fact that Tony Stark is not here, we still feel his presence throughout a lot of the movie.
Yeah, so it very much has the specter of Tony Stark over the entire proceedings, with the whole fact that his sacrifice in Endgame is very much the catalyst for why this story needs to happen, and so would it be impossible to make this movie if Endgame did not happen?
And we still have plenty of time to get a feel for this world, like knowing what happened post everything. I guess we're gonna call it post blip. Now that it was a snap, with post snap, I guess it was everybody disappear. Was the period between everybody disappearing, and now we're post blip. So we get a little bit of how society changed, but we're still piecing things together. But things still need to be pieced together.
Yeah, but other than that, the story is it is a very fun story. There's very funny gags, including the best shot in the MCU.
Yes.
As we called it when we saw it in the trailer.
Yes. But there is actually a best shot in this movie, and it, like, my jaw hit the floor the second it started.
And
like, the best action scene in the entire movie.
And that's the thing, the action scenes are awesome, and you can tell that, and once again, you can kind of tell that, like John Watts was getting kind of back into his experimental roots from when he was a YouTube creator.
Yeah. Where
he just kind of was like, let's throw whatever cool visual effects that I can at the wall and see how awesome I can make this. How awesome and quick and random and fun I can make this. And he did it. And that was pretty much a lot of this movie's best action sequences.
Yes. There is a cameo in here. There's actually two cameos, but one of them is really fucking great. We've been waiting so long to see this guy. And then there's another cameo that we haven't seen these guys in a little while, but they're back now.
So, but no spoilers. No, absolutely no spoilers. Don't go into this movie. Don't let anyone tell you anything about what happens, because this is stuff that is best experienced in the exact second you find out.
Like our friend is going into the movie in about 10 minutes. I texted him after the mid-credit scene, and the exact quote was, "You are not going to fucking believe it!" I capitalized fucking believe it, and gave him like 3 exclamation points. He got the message.
Yeah, so this is gonna be nuts. So it's nuts, and it's game-changing in every single conceivable way. What else can be said? Michael Giacchino's score, it's still stuck in my head right at this very second. It's still buzzing around in my head.
And we're now at a point where We don't know where we're going now. How?
Marvel has kept their schedule so under wraps that we don't know what's going to happen.
We know that there are 3 movies set for next year, but that's it.
We don't have any names or release dates on them.
We do actually have the schedule.
Oh.
We have the schedule. We have untitled Marvel projects.
We have 3 movies. We don't know where they're going. We don't know what's going on with them. We don't know what's going to happen with them. We don't know which ones they are. We know none of them are definitely Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Thanks, Cernovich.
Yeah, we do know that there's a Black Widow movie in production right now, and that there are at least three TV shows in the works, in various stages of development right now.
So, yeah, we don't know what's going on. But this is a fantastic movie. If you were not planning to see this, why were you not planning to see this? These things are cultural touchstones at this point.
Yeah.
So go see this movie. Even if you didn't like a Homecoming, this movie is so fantastic.
Yeah.
And it has so many changes to it had so much world building and so many new changes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that there's no way that you can just ignore it.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see where we're going, especially since we kind of know where we're going a little bit, but where we're going wasn't exactly great in the comics.
Oh well, Marvel's got a nice track record when it comes to stuff like that.
Especially by the fact that Civil War wasn't that great, and that ended up being a great movie, so we'll see where it goes.
Yep. On that note, I think that's pretty much all we've got to say for right now.
Yep.
Alright, so be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to tune in next time when... crap, we did not prep for this, did we?
I believe we will be part of the Circle of Life next time.
Yeah. Let's go with that. Bye.
Bye.